Yeah, she has beautiful eyebrows. You may not relate with this model. The before, it's nice and full. But there is something that I did on this model where I get asked quite a bit. So it's a quick little video. Please stick with me. I want you guys to check it out and see if that is going to help you. Hey everybody, it's Jasmine, your brow expert. I call myself a brow expert because not only have I been shaping eyebrows for over 25 years at the Anastasia salon in Beverly Hills, I'm still there shaping eyebrows. So thank you for some of you that come and trusted me with the eyebrows. Please come by and I can give you your best eyebrow. We shape by tweezing, waxing, applying makeup, and picking the best color for you. I want you to know why I love using highlighters and concealers and why I use what I use. So without further ado, let's get to the model. I don't use good eyebrows a lot of the times because so many of us can't relate with this type of eyebrow. But I think with some of the tricks that I show you guys today, some of the tips, anyone can pick it up, right? So anyone can have a highlighter. Anyone can get a concealer. Magic Touch Concealer is my favorite by Anastasia Beverly Hills because it really does cover, which is why she called it magic, I think. So that is what I want you to get from this video today. So if this brow's, now it's been shaped, as you can see right here. It's been shaped by some waxing and tweezing, but I still left them very thick or full, just shapely. So by looking at this video, I want you to just take the most important trick is the concealer. Now, I often use the highlighter a lot. Some of you guys have, I don't know if criticism is the correct way, but you're asking why use a highlighter when you can use a concealer, right? Yes. So I often use something really bright and don't blend it as well because I really want you to see the shaping. I'm here mainly on this page because I want you guys to learn the shaping, how to apply makeup to create a better shape, how to tweeze just to get the best shape. Colors can be learned obviously, but the most important thing is the shape. So the Magic Touch Concealer has got 25 shades. This one's pretty light, obviously. For me, I think I can use like 7 or 8. Number 7 or 8. The brush 18 is very important because this is allowing the color to the concealer that is to go on. Now, underneath the eyebrows, you can use a highlighter as well, but the concealer really does just make it pop. So I use a tiny bit. A little goes a long way. Now I can use my hand. Obviously, you saw me using on top of the tube. It doesn't really matter. On the client, obviously, I'm going to use for hygienic reasons on the tube, but on you, just put it on your hand and you can see that just the tip is all I need. Tip of the brush, that is. And right over here, now I have an old brow tattoo. You guys know this by now, right? But check this out. By applying a little bit of the concealer underneath, again, highlighter can work as well. Sometimes the concealer can be very easy to hide unwanted hair. If you're not sure where to shape, do this. And then blend it in here. But the reason why I want you to look at me is that look how much my brows look darker. And it's just a faded tattoo. So if you have sparse eyebrows, try that out. I'm using the dual powder. Because if you have full brows, but it's real light, this is a really good tip. Notice what I'm doing right here. I do this all the time. I brush the hair down. Even if you don't have that much hair, try to comb down some of the sparseness. And then so that way you get access to the top edge. This is where if you have sparse eyebrows, but it's relatively full, there's just a lot of gaps. This is the biggest trick I can give you as well. If you brush the hair down and go above the brow line, this is going to make your brows look so much fuller. I'm really big on this, you guys. Create a fuller brow by going above the brow line. You can use a pencil as well. It doesn't really matter as long as you're going above the brow line. Right up here. See, I'm dragging the brush down so that way you're pulling the color down inside the eyebrows. I don't like a ton of color, but whatever is left on the brush, I always like to go up in the front. So by dragging it down, you really get the color inside the eyebrows, but you're going right at the edge. Edge, edge, edge. Because if you do this or if you do that, it's hard to get, it's hard to see, first of all, because your eyes kind of are in the way. But if you drag it down this way in an angle, not straight down this way, in an angle, drag it down. Let me get the brush right here. right at the edge, at the top edge, you're getting your brows fuller, and you don't see the not that you can over color your eyebrows, but you don't see all of that color, because when you brush it up, I'm going to pretend I have hair here. You're brushing your hair up. Can you see a lot of the color on her eyebrows? You can't, right? By the way, I used a very dark color because I want you to see that powders can go on light as long as you don't press that hard. I'm going to do the other eyebrow soon, but the highlighter. Now I'm going over with the highlighter. I actually used a little bit of highlighter on her, even though I used of course I used the highlighter on her, even though I used the concealer. The Sand Shimmer. The dual highlighter has the shiny side and the matte side. The Sand Shimmer is my favorite color. I could actually get away with the sand. It has like a light, glowy look. Now, apply it underneath the eyebrows and a little bit of brow gel. Look at how gorgeous it is, right? I know, we hate her for having these beautiful eyebrows, but just those little steps. Look at me. I don't have any eyebrows. I have a faded tattoo. If you have sparse eyebrows, you can also see that it's a little bit darker now, right? You can see. It's not about having a ton of color on your eyebrows. It's really about just making it look as natural as possible, right? So here, let's go over this again. I put a tiny bit underneath the eyebrows, and then once the concealer kind of, dries up a little bit, that's when I go over it with the highlighter, the shiny side, the Sand Shimmer. I'm not going to blend it in too much with me, so that way you guys can see. I haven't put really much, if at all. There's no makeup on this eyebrow. Granted, it's a little faded with the tattoo, but that's what I want you to see. Look at this beautiful before and after. You saw that earlier, right? Beautiful before and after. And again, like, see, I'm going above and dragging the brush down. I'm barely putting any, as a matter of fact, there's hardly any color on this eyebrow brush. But just going at the top edge and then down below here, and whatever's left on the brush, that's when you go up in the front. So that way that the front doesn't get too dark. You don't want to get some more color and go up in the front. That gets just too much. Many times I apply highlighter above the brow line to really highlight, make sure I get the matte side, to really highlight the eyebrows, right? And for you to see what you're doing. I've had people ask me, some of you guys, why not use a concealer? Because that's, to me, blends in better. You can. I just use a highlight, especially on a client, because it's just easier for them to see. But grab your favorite concealer that matches you up. You don't even have to use a concealer. You can use, matches you up, matches your skin. You can use a foundation, right? As long as you have this little brush and just glide it above your brow line, so that way you're cleaning up and also showing off. Again, I'm not going to blend that much because you can see how it shows off your eyebrows. Then you can just kind of blend that out. If you're using a foundation that matches your skin tone, you're not going to just notice that light donut look. I know that's what you're thinking. But, again, it's all about the shape for me. But, for those of you that have very sparse eyebrows or even eyebrow hair that's really fine, you can feel your hair. You have them there. You may be thinking I should color my eyebrows. That's an option too. But, using a concealer or a highlighter underneath and above really does make the eyebrows pop. That's why I'm really big on using concealers and highlighters. But yes, use your concealer. Like I said, there's a lot of different shades. I believe I said, or it was written 25 shades. I promise you one of them will fit you. Use your foundation above and then use the highlighter underneath. But practice with it. You guys, this is just makeup. It's not permanent like my tattoo. But, the reason why I also love to use highlighters and concealers, check this out. My brow this side is naturally lower compared to the other side. So sometimes, and the tattoo just kind of went down lower, which is why you want to be really careful who you go to. Consider if you really want a tattoo. As you age, the tattoo will move with you. Remember that. I'm a brow expert, so I can hide, cover, show off better. I've been at this for so long, right? But I want you to see this side. This is also fuller side because I just realized I made this really flat at the top. There's so many things you can do with your eyebrows just with a concealer, right? This is actually much higher naturally. I didn't put a lot of color up here, but my brow here just goes up higher naturally. It's a tiny bit thinner. We all have that. I have that, believe it or not. So this side's naturally lower. You know, if you have a lower side, go up higher here. Meaning with the concealer, go up higher, 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 just to see how much higher you can go. Okay, so that way you can see that you can make it a little bit more balanced with this side if this side is just dragging you down. That is why I love a concealer. And then you can tweeze any hairs inside that concealer. But it really does so much more than just conceal. Yeah, it conceals so many other things, but it can also highlight, lift up, help you to learn how to do your eyebrows, fill in your eyebrows. So, you know, that's why I'm really big on concealers and highlighters, because these guys will be your best tool to get started in filling your eyebrows. So that's why I make videos of concealers and highlighters sometimes. That's why I made this video, because it's not just about hiding. It's not just about under eye. It's so much more than that, you guys. And, you know, makeup is something you can just wash off, start all over again. Can't wait to wash this off. And it's about practicing the shape. Definitely subscribe. I'll put all of this products, everything I used, in the descriptions. Don't worry about that. And thank you for joining me. And I will see you guys next week.